In terms of concept, I have to say that initially the CBNRM, it was like a trial and error, process of implementation. We really made mistakes, and I was one of those people who were there initially, working with the government and international agencies to promote CBNRM. And in the process, we really said, okay, we are doing this on the field, but let's put it also on paper, develop the models and see what are the pieces that have to be put together in order to really make sense on what we are trying to achieve. And as a result, I won't tell you the story of how many steps we have been going through, but what we realized was that there is if you think of a hat, an African hat, and we called it the Improved African Hat for Sustainable Use and, and Management of Natural Resources, which has a foundation. And this foundation has 3 layers. And the first layer is the level of education that people have. Because we see that for you to impress on people in terms of small enterprises, especially when you are bringing new kind of enterprises, the language you use, the means you use to communicate will influence a lot. And also, of course, the level of education of the people you are talking with will determine how much of that new technology they will take on and how they will be able to move on by themselves. So we see this as an important aspect that we should include in the whole forest development process or natural resource management development. And the second aspect was information, information on the legislation, what rights and obligations do the communities have and what rights and obligations are held by other stakeholders. It's important for people at the local level to have access. And if you ask me, all the legislation we have is written in Portuguese. Maybe it's translated not maybe, the land law was translated into 2 languages. But the issue of how many people even can read in local language, it's a big issue. So the way the information is transmitted to those people who are supposed to really understand the law, their rights and their obligation, I think it's key. But information is not only about the laws, it's also about access to technology, about knowing markets, about knowing partners to work with, many aspects of it. And the third aspect was health. And health, because we came to realize that on the CBNRM initiatives at the field level, the food security issues which weaken the body, you can find many now malnourished children, but also the issue of HIV/AIDS, where we found many heads of the family laying, down, these determine what type of quick income generating activities the other members of the families undertake. And forest happens to be one of those. You can cut a tree and sell 1 log to a foreigner, Chinese or something. You have, $200. Or you can chop a log and produce charcoal. So we think that there is a link, and these 3 are the foundation. And when we come to the pillars, we have 5 pillars. And the first one relates to the rights. It's important to secure the rights to the communities. The second one relates to the institutions, because we feel that only with strong institutions at the local level to organize the community, to lead the identification of activities, to lead the planning, the monitoring, etc., you can really live as an external NGO or whoever,